In the heart of what we now call northern Nigeria, a remarkable story began to unfold long ago. This was the land of the Nok people. They lived around 1500 BC, a time when many parts of the world were just starting to build their first great civilizations. The Nok made their home on the Yos Plateau, a green and fertile area with rolling hills and winding rivers. It was here, in this ancient landscape, that they built their villages, farmed their land, and created a culture that would echo through thousands of years of West African history. The world did not know about them for a very long time. Their story was hidden, buried beneath the soil, waiting for a chance discovery. That discovery came in 1928, quite by accident. A man named Colonel J. Dent Young was supervising a tin mine near the small village of Nok. One of the miners found something unusual in the earth. It was a small head, beautifully made from clay. It had distinctive triangular eyes and an expressive mouth. At first, it was treated as a curiosity, even used as a scarecrow in a nearby field for a year. But this terracotta head was not just a simple object. It was a key, a clue that pointed to a sophisticated society that had been completely forgotten. This single find opened the door to a lost world, sparking decades of research and exploration. Archaeologists, led by figures like Bernard Fagg, began to search the area more carefully. They soon found more of these incredible terracotta sculptures. Each one was unique, showing different hairstyles, jewelry, and expressions. These were not just simple pots, they were portraits of a people. They showed us men and women, perhaps rulers, priests, or ancestors frozen in time. Finding these artifacts was like piecing together a giant puzzle. Every new fragment helped to build a clearer picture of the Nok civilization. It told us that these were not simple farmers, but skilled artists and thinkers who had a complex view of their world and their place within it. The Nok culture flourished for over 1,000 years, from around 1500 BC to about 500 AD. This is a huge span of time. It is longer than the entire Roman Empire existed in Britain. During this long period, the Nok people developed their society, perfected their art, and made one of the most important technological leaps in human history. They did all of this without leaving behind any written records. Their story is told not through words, but through the things they made and left behind. It is a silent history, but one that speaks volumes about their ingenuity, their creativity, and their deep connection to the land they called home. The most famous achievement of the Nok people is undoubtedly their stunning terracotta art. These sculptures are the oldest known examples of large-scale figurative art in sub-Saharan Africa. The artists who made them were masters of their craft. They used local clay, shaping it with incredible skill to create life-sized human heads, figures, and animals. The style is instantly recognizable. The triangular or D-shaped eyes, the parted lips, and the incredibly detailed hairstyles and beards. These were not just decorations. They were powerful objects, likely used in important rituals or ceremonies to honor ancestors or gods, telling stories of power, faith, and community. But the Nok were not just brilliant artists, they were also pioneers of technology. They were among the very first people in West Africa to learn how to smelt iron. This was a revolutionary change. Before iron, tools and weapons were made from stone, which could be brittle and inefficient. The Nok learned how to build clay furnaces that could reach incredibly high temperatures, hot enough to melt iron ore from the local rocks. This knowledge allowed them to forge strong and durable tools. Iron axes could clear forests for farming more easily, and iron hoes could till the soil more effectively, leading to better harvests and a growing population. The combination of advanced art and technology tells us that Nok society was highly organized and complex. Making terracotta sculptures and smelting iron are not simple tasks. They require specialized knowledge and a lot of time. This means that not everyone in a Nok village was a farmer. There must have been dedicated artisans and blacksmiths. These specialists would have been supported by the rest of the community, who provided them with food and resources. This social structure, with different people having different jobs, is a key sign of a sophisticated and settled civilization, one that was stable and prosperous enough to support the arts and sciences. Imagine a Nok village around 500 BC. You would hear the sounds of life and industry. You might see farmers returning from the fields with yams and grains, their iron tools making the work easier. In another part of the village, you would see an artist carefully shaping a clay head, capturing the spirit of an ancestor. Nearby, the heat and smoke from a furnace would signal that a blacksmith was at work, hammering glowing iron into a new tool. This was a vibrant and dynamic society, built on a foundation of agricultural success, artistic expression, and technological innovation. The Nok were truly ahead of their time. The Nok civilization did not simply vanish without a trace. Its influence continued to shape the history of Nigeria for centuries, creating a powerful legacy that can still be seen today. One of the most direct lines of influence is found in the art of later Nigerian kingdoms. If you look at the famous bronze and terracotta heads from Ife or the magnificent brass plaques of the Benin Empire, you can see echoes of the Nok style, the focus on the head as the center of identity, the calm and dignified expressions, and the attention to detail in hairstyles and regalia. All of these artistic ideas seem to have their roots in the ancient workshops of the Nok. This artistic connection is not a coincidence. It suggests a deep cultural continuity, a passing of knowledge and tradition from one generation to the next, over vast distances and across many centuries. It is possible that as the Nok culture declined, its people migrated, carrying their skills and beliefs with them. These migrating artisans may have become the master craftsmen in the new city-states and kingdoms that began to rise in the region. They taught their techniques to others, and over time, the old Nok style evolved into the new, distinct styles of Ife and Benin. The spirit of Nok art lived on, transforming but never disappearing completely. The technological legacy of the Nok is just as important. Their mastery of ironworking was a gift to the future. The ability to create strong iron tools and weapons gave a huge advantage to any group that possessed it. This knowledge spread throughout West Africa, likely carried by migrating Nok descendants. It fueled agricultural expansion, allowing people to cultivate more land and support larger populations. It also changed the nature of warfare and politics. Rulers who could equip their armies with iron weapons had a significant military advantage, helping them to build and defend the powerful kingdoms that would later dominate the region's history. So, when we look at the great empires of Nigeria, like the Oyo, Benin, or the Hausa city-states, we are seeing a story that began on the Yos Plateau. The foundations of these powerful societies were built on the innovations of the Nok people. Their artistic traditions provided a blueprint for some of Africa's most iconic art, and their technological breakthrough with iron smelting powered the economic and military engines of future generations. The Nok civilization may have ended, but its echo was a powerful force that helped to create the rich and diverse cultural tapestry of modern Nigeria. They were the pioneers, the ancestors of greatness. One of the greatest mysteries surrounding the Nok is why their civilization declined after 500 AD. After more than 1,500 years of continuous cultural development, the production of their unique terracotta art and the evidence of their iron smelting seemed to fade from the archaeological record. We have no writings to tell us what happened. Was it a dramatic change in the climate that made farming more difficult? Was it overexploitation of resources, like cutting down too many trees to fuel their furnaces? Or perhaps it was conflict or disease that weakened their society. Without written records, we can only speculate, piecing together clues from the soil. This lack of writing leads us to wonder, what if the Nok had developed a script? If they had written down their history, their beliefs, and their knowledge, our understanding of them would be transformed. We would know the names of their kings and queens, the stories behind their sculptures, and the secrets of their iron smelting techniques. A written tradition would have preserved their culture more directly and perhaps allowed their ideas to spread even further. It might have created a literary legacy as powerful as their artistic one, giving us a direct voice from West Africa's deep past and changing our understanding of the continent's history. Let us imagine another what if. What if the Nok civilization had not declined, but had continued to grow and centralize, forming a powerful unified empire? With their technological head start in iron, a Nok empire could have expanded its influence across a vast area of West Africa. It might have become a major trading power connecting the Sahara with the coastal forests long before other kingdoms did. Such an empire, with its strong artistic and technological identity, could have created a cultural gravity that would have shaped the entire region in its own image, creating a different historical path for West Africa. Ultimately, the story of the Nok is a powerful reminder of how much of our human history is still waiting to be discovered. They matter today not just because of their art or their technology, but because they represent one of the world's great early civilizations, a testament to African ingenuity and creativity. They show us that sophisticated societies can thrive and leave a lasting legacy without following the same path as those in Europe or the Middle East. The mysteries that remain are not a sign of failure, but an invitation to keep searching, to keep listening to the stories that the Earth itself has to tell us about our shared past.